Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I wanted to wrap up a couple things, or at least one thing, two things, that I've been doing in my episodes previously on testing and analyzers and source generators and all that other good stuff. And just to tie a bow on them a little bit. And then I want to start going into some stuff with rocks and performance. And you can kind of see the notes here already if you want to get a hint for where I'm going to be going in the next couple of episodes. 1 to 5, depending upon how things go. But the first thing is with the generators, I don't think, because I just went through editing a whole bunch of them, and I don't think I ever went through and showed how I actually do this. So with the code fixes, no, wait a minute, this is not, this is analyzers. Yeah, we don't want to do transpire. We want to do the inline of mapping, okay? And as you can tell, I'm using 2022. I'm trying to do that more and more these days just to get in the habit of using it, see if the experience is a little better or not. I don't know, but we'll just give it a whirl. So one thing I'm going to do, hold on. Okay, I just wanted to check something in Task Manager, and sometimes I've noticed something from the company that built this laptop that I'm using will sometimes launch something, and I'll notice my fan starts kicking in, and I've wondered if that happens when I'm doing something in OBS. I don't know, but anyway, I wanted to see if it fired up because sometimes that might be a cause of it. Anyway, it wasn't running, so I mean it's just again OBS doing the not the streaming but the recording, and then the fact that this is on a laptop, which isn't a bad laptop. I mean it's 32 gig of memory. It's only a year old. And I'm going to say that, and this thing will now start on fire because I cursed it. But it's a decent laptop. It's just, it's not like a high-end desktop with tons and tons of memory and capture cards and all that other stuff. So it can get a little slow. Though I have seen streamers recently that are doing things in Visual Studio and they're streaming, and then when they hit something that's taking like a lot of CPU or memory, that even their streams will start to stutter, or Visual Studio will start to stutter. It's just that there is this part of me that goes, I definitely think people need to be, the whole, I felt like there was this arc for a while of let's just get stuff done and do it fast and not necessarily worry about performance and maybe it's just me getting older, or perception thing or whatever. But this notion of, no, we really do need to be, even though we have these huge machines, we can't just say, well, we can run anything on it, because if everybody takes that mentality, then nothing will ever fit. So I'm kind of hoping just that in general people start getting more aware of performance and don't just say, oh, I can load 10,000 things in an array. How bad can that be? Well, it may be. So just think about that. Anyway, what was I trying to show? I think source generator tests. Yeah, I don't think I actually got this to the point where it was solved. So what I ended up doing is, I think it was the last episode, I was getting this done, but I didn't have it actually working like all the way through. And I have a piece of commented code there. At some point, I'm going to have to get rid of that. But I think, oh yeah, that's what it was. It was referencing assemblies that I already had in place. They weren't referenced assemblies like what I was doing here. They're additional references. I think that was the problem. And also expected diagnostics. There was something else there too that was causing an issue. I should have watched the last episode. I just edited it to make sure, but I know I ended on a I've got to figure this out kind of moment. And I did. I finally figured it out. You couldn't put in here like where it was. And I think that's related to what I commented out here, is that this was supposed to work, but it didn't. And I notified somebody on Microsoft, and they're like, yeah, that should have worked. I don't know why that didn't. So we'll have to maybe talk deeper about it. But I'm like, yeah, but I can't wait. So this works. So you just say, this is the code that I have. And then you can just pass in your diagnostic results, you can actually pass in the descriptor, which I thought of maybe what I could do is say for these helper classes that I have up here is, for example, when I say do this, is actually pass back the diagnostic descriptor. Okay. Because that I think matches with, come on, where is the, there it goes. Yeah, it's actually not the location. So that might be an interesting idea, is to just say, you know what, this is the descriptor that should match what you have out there and not just do it by ID and error, you know. So I'm actually going to write that down. Hold on 1 second, please. Consider making an issue for analyzers and source generators to return a diagnostic descriptor explicitly as well from the helper static classes. Okay. Again, it would be a minor thing, but that would help here in that I don't have to make a new diagnostic result. I still would, well, I wouldn't be passing these in. I would just be passing in, say, make me a descriptor. I still need to say the span. That is the one thing I don't quite like here, is I wish I could pass in like the brackets and everything here, but I can't figure out how to do that. That's related to the thing I just showed you that was commented out. But it does work. But it works. So that's good. Okay. So that's the first thing I wanted to get off the list. The next thing is back to Transpire. Is there was a very small issue that I wanted to address. And yeah. So if I have things like this, I want to get using verify put into the namespace because then it will be smaller. This is a small change. So hopefully this won't take too long. We're going to say new branch. This is issue 8. Move long usings. Okay. That looks good. Won't be a big deal here. Did I put it into, yeah, I put it into a milestone. So I would basically want to find out everywhere where I'm doing this. And this should only be in the current project. Okay, so we got this one. We're going to pull that out. We're going to put that here. We're going to take care of that and that. Okay, and now we want to say thank you. Okay, I think that looks neater. Okay, now we want to say the find using verify. Yep, we want to pull that one out, put it there. So this is, you know, a very small refactoring. It really shouldn't take that much time. And it shouldn't break anything because we're just moving how things are resolved. Like that. Okay. Now if I tab. Nope. Tab back there. What I wanted to do is go back to the find using screen. That's the control tab lets you go to windows that you have open, and that way you don't have to remember what the keystroke is for find. All right. So that's good. Now we got this one. We're going to pull that down, put it in here. And I'm also trying to use 2022 because the IntelliCode seems a little better. So I'm hoping that it would kick in and just do all the work for me so I don't have to keep doing this. Whoops, no. Go to that. Okay, there. And that. And now we do this and the other thing and 3 more stuff. I am under a little bit, not of a time crunch, but my older son is working today at 4 to 9:45. I am actually very proud of him for, you know, for working like he does. This is fine. Daytime code fix. Yes. Yeah. I was saying to my wife, I kind of wish he would have gotten inspired to get this job earlier this summer, you know, because he would have made even more money and things like that. But, you know, the real cool thing is that he's actually got this job now. He likes it. You know, it's a good first job. It's close by where we live. You know, we honestly, I don't think we could have asked for a better first job for him, you know. So that's all good. And now he can buy his own stuff. So I keep threatening to him that I'm going to make him pay rent now. Yeah. Oh, you're making the big bucks. Yeah, maybe you should start, paying for your way around here. Okay, now let's do that search again, and let's see what we get. Huh, that's, oh. Really? I thought it was in, oh. Okay, it didn't. So let's see, these all look compressed now. Compressed for long, different word. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so let's just run all tests and make sure that this works. And then if it does, we'll consider this finished. And if I catch those anywhere else, I will deal with them as I find them. Just take your sweet old time. It's okay. It's all right. You can just build at your own pace. Don't worry about it, Visual Studio. I'm under no rush. You just do what you need to do. Again, if I wasn't streaming right now, not streaming, recording, I probably would be already done with this. So, is what it is. Did you run? I guess you did. You must have. Did you? I said run tests. Are you running tests? It doesn't look like you are. Oh my God. Just clean and rebuild, because that's what it takes to actually run tests. Maybe, apparently, I don't know. At least I see a scrolly thingy going by. And if you see a scrolly thingy going by, that means that your computer's doing something. And now it's like slowly scrolling up, so that's even better. And then I'm getting 2 tests that are passing. That's even better. And now 22, and look at that, everything works. All right, commit or stash. I think one of the things I'd done recently too, the name of the branch, the number wasn't right, so even though I was doing the pound to get it to the right thing. So let's see here, 8, updated all usings. And that doesn't work, so we commit blank. And now let's use, did you push? Okay, you did. Let's go to manage branches, check it out, move here, move that into main, yes, thank you, go back to main, and push. And I could probably do this all faster in the command line, but this works, works. And then we delete that. Yes, okay. And now we go back over here, and we should see that we did some stuff. Yes, we did, and now we close the issue. All right, cool. That takes care of that. And no, there's not 3, there's 2. Come on, get your act straight. Okay, so I believe that took care of that. Comment that out. So editor config settings. So this is one that I want to do in Rocks, because since I'm going to be in Rocks soon, I want to just use that. Because I also, for some reason, Rocks has become like my editor config standard. And I know there's a way that I think you can put like an editor config somewhere, and then you just reference that everywhere else. And because that's really what I want to do, but whatever. Let's just go into Rocks here. And I do not believe I have anything set up for like a issue on this one, even though technically it doesn't require an issue. Oh yeah, I never got to that one yet. That's okay. That's all right. That's okay. It's all right. Ooh, unknown WSL exit code. Shut it down and start it up again. Sounds like a good plan to me. And you didn't even load Rocks. Well, that's even better. Let's open a it's right there. Are you going to fail this time with some WSL error, which I don't even know about? I don't think I'm doing anything that's like specific with WSL in this or any projects that I do. So I don't know. Why would that have come up? Don't ask me. Okay, so if I come back here and I say in my editor config, oh yeah, that's right. I don't want to open it with this thing. Again, I wish there was a way to say, you know what, can I just switch to like the text view version of this? Because that's really what I want. I don't want the, okay, well, that's good for you. Let's see, code cleanup. Now I'm getting distracted. Open with a text editor, okay? Let's learn more, by the way. What can I learn more about? I can learn, oh yeah, thank you. That's really helpful. It's because I didn't know what Windows subsystem for Linux was. All right, so where was this? Here it is. So apparently this is what you do. Is we put down here somewhere that that's what we want. Okay, so let's build clean. Got to be clean. Okay, clean succeeded. Let's just build this. And take your sweet time again. That's all right. That's okay. Nobody's rushing you. Nobody's pressuring you into doing anything that you are uncomfortable with. You know, if you just want to shake a hand instead of hug, that's awesome. You know, just take your time. Take your time. And I'm glad that you did. Did I tell it to run tests? I don't. Oh, that's odd. WSL debugging. Why would it? Maybe that's why it's coming up, because some of that came into play. Collection was modified. Enumeration may not continue. Well, that's just great. Sure. Let's clean build again and just say run the tests again. And I should have put this in a branch. I can just discard if I need to. Okay, again, just now I'm down to 588. Why, I don't know. Oh, now I'm up to 600 because it dug a little harder and now it found more. So, you know, that's great. And there's always that. I think there's one or two tests that take forever because they're meant to be longer tests. I don't know if I have in this project like that stressor tester thing. I did have code generation test. Is that the one? Oh yeah, yeah. This is the one that goes through all the types and says that. Yeah, I think this is the one that drives it, and it can get to be quite long. Yeah. But, okay, what I really wanted to do is say, find me all the async methods. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I bet I know why. Because, yeah, shut up. Shut up. Don't need to hear you. Async. Let's say match case, match holder. Because I should have async. Yeah, so I bet here, yep, it's telling me that what I want to do is change it to async. But here's the thing. I did this wrong. Jason, you know what you need to do here. Make everything an... This me pattern match in parentheses, null, primer. I don't think it could. I don't think it could be that smart to say, oh, by the way, I always want to do that. So we need to open this in a text editor because that is what we do. Come down here and guess what? We need to make this not a suggestion, an error. Boom. Because that's what we want. Now you see all this, okay? So that's good. Let's build and let's see how many errors we have. And you know what? If this isn't in a branch, that's okay. At this point, I don't care. But this is nice because what I'm going to show hopefully is cool in that if I say here, Oh, this doesn't go across the whole solution. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Oh no. That's not helpful. How many errors do I have? Oh, only 3. Well, you know, I was hoping it would give me like fix it all in solution, but that's not what it does. Okay. But there was only 3, so there. Now if I build everything, we should be in a good spot. Should be. Oh, it did. It did succeed. I didn't even notice. So go figure. Run all the tests again. And we should be good. It's looking good. Oh yeah, we're going to get down to the 2 and then it's going to be like, ugh, and it's not going to finish. So what we're going to do here is just say git commit minor update enforcing async as a suffix for async methods. Okay, commit all, push, and that's good. Okay, so we got that going for us. Yes, no, and that's done. Okay, I'm not going to get into this work. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what this is. Okay, so let me go into here and get my fork out. Fork of benchmark mocknet. And again, if I don't have, yeah, I do have these up. It's still, to me, it's so glorious to at least have a moment in time where my stuff was just working oh so pretty and oh so nice. But the things I'm looking at are things that you're going to be seeing here. That's what to focus on is like verify, return, and callback. Some of these, like empty method, that's low on the priority. You know, it is a little bit slower than the stub, and I don't know why offhand, but it's also really, really close. So it's like, is it that big of a deal? No. You know, empty return and return, I'm not sure. I got to look at the test code to see what is the difference between the two, because I don't understand why a mock object is created with no method setup and an int method called. That might be the mock. That's the mock, the make type. There's the make that doesn't do any tracking of verification or do callbacks or anything. It just does defaults of everything. And then there's the create, which does do that, and that's probably why this is taking longer. So, okay. Now, still though, why it would take twice as long as that one, that still bothers me, but I'm prioritizing here. Okay. And it's at least to look at these things. And so the first thing I really want to do is understand what benchmark.net is testing for, which I think I've done a little bit. And now I want to go through and say, well, what could I optimize? And I'm thinking maybe instead of doing this in benchmark.net for a while, I would eventually want to rerun the benchmark mocknet tests against this. One thing I also noticed is that benchmark mocknet does not do anything with parameters, and that's one thing I want to add in as an issue. And since I'm here, add an issue for benchmark mocknet to have methods mocking with parameters, because it does not exist right now. And not that it would make a big difference, but you know, it would be potentially a nice idea to do. Anyway, coming back up to here. So instead of doing it all through benchmark.net is to just write an executable app that I can profile and see where some of this stuff is occurring. And I maybe should possibly do that. But I was just thinking off the top of my head, what are some things that I could possibly do? One of them, whoa, no, not here. We don't want that keystroke here. We want that keystroke here. Because if I, oh, that's right. I need to be in a, let's do that in a separate instance. You know, I thought I read somewhere that you could actually, like you could add multiple solutions open. Maybe I was misreading something. I thought that that was a feature they were adding. but I don't really know, because otherwise then I could actually switch between solutions within one Visual Studio. That would be kind of cool. Yes, unknown exit code. I don't know why. You're not helping. Go away. So, Solution Explorer. There you go. Thank you. You're so nice. If I come in here to integration tests and I say analyzers and I'm going to rocks and I go to my create, and then it's showing me all the things that are being created, which are taking forever to do, but you know, that's okay. Last method return rocks. Is that a good one? I want to have something that well, there's an equals and a get hash code and a toString and a no parameters and one parameter. Yay, because here it is. So in the one parameter, what I'm doing is I'm saying, I'm using this dictionary to say, well, it's for here, so that's what I'm going to be looking for, and then get all the method handlers, if it exists. If it does, then do a for each, doing all these casts, which honestly, that was one thing I looked at here too, and I said, well, these wouldn't be as, because there's no reason to do a null check here. It will cast. So instead of doing as, and instead of this, oh, what? Oh my God, did you copy or did you not copy? That. I'm not asking to edit it. I'm just asking, what? Why? Oh my God. It's like not copying this. Copy, paste. There. Whatever. Do argument of int method handler dot expectations of 0. Well, yeah, and then you'd have to do the double brace around it. But point is, that should work. There's no reason to do an as and a question mark. It's going to work. Okay. So that was one thing. But really what I'm thinking of is, instead of having the mock type here, keep this immutable dictionary around, is actually start putting in fields where everything is typed to, for example, if I wanted to have a the handlers for the for method. So I'd have handlers underscore for. The naming doesn't matter, just that it matches like the identifier here. And then have some way to say, I know that the first argument is an argument of int, and I just set that to there, and I do all the casting in the constructor. So the constructor would have this method that would deconstruct everything that's coming out of the thing here. In the instance, you're taking the expectations and you're passing that into here, which then just sets create handlers. Well, maybe do something that pulls all that out and sticks it into this type here as something that I can just read from and not do any casts. So you still have to do casts though when these are coming out. So I'm like, how would you typically use a mock? You're typically using a mock to say, I'm going to do all these things, run the code. It should have called this method 3 times, and there you go. Or just once. So does it matter for most work that you do that if you're just calling a method once, that you do the casts up front in the constructor, or do you do the casts in the thing here? And is it less memory pressure to have like explicit arrays or structures that you've created that have all the fields for what you're looking for? Yeah, I'm not explaining this very well, but basically, instead of using a dictionary, hard code these handlers into something that I can access directly. And I know that they would be there. I don't have to look up it on a dictionary. As fast as dictionary lookups are, that would be one thing. Another thing would be is if I could really, well, so that's one thing. Another thing is to potentially that, and then also give a hint. So if you know that you're just going to be creating a mock that has one expectation set up, then when you're calling rock create, you pass in, we'll go back to this options thing, but the option thing lets you say number of expected expectations. That's a great naming thing. I kind of like that. But you just say 1, and then what it would do is just only, like whether I'm using a list or a dictionary or whatever I'm doing underneath the scene, set the capacity to 1 right away and do a little bit less memory that way. Okay. Small thing, but if you know, which you probably will, you can give it a hint. Okay. And then the verify. This is something I wanted to see. If I did verify here, I think this is the one. Okay. And so you want to get verification failures here. Now, the thing I was thinking about is you're going into this verify here, which goes into that. Yeah, and okay, it is doing the right thing in that it's just looking at the expected call counts. Okay, because that's the only thing it could have failed on at that point. Okay, it is the verify is showing to be a little bit slow, and I'm not sure why. Because I thought, well, all it needs to do is look at the call counts. If they're not the same, then it failed. So it is doing the right thing. But in any event, so there are some things I want to look at with rocks and see if I can tweak any of the performance. I'm never going to get to be as fast as a stub, the way he's got it as like the baseline and benchmark mocknet, and I never could. That's because that is not doing anything for mocking. It's just what could be the fastest thing you could do if you didn't have mocking. So if you're adding mocking in, well, then what does this do? And as overhead. So I'm never going to get there, but I can get close, or maybe. And the nice thing, and then I'm going to end this, is that with something like this, when you're doing source generation, is I can literally just copy this code out and change everything here to being like named stuff, like not the expectation stuff, but you'll have things in here so that they're for like an experiment type of thing, so that I can differentiate in a mock between the source generated code and what should do the same thing, except it's handwritten code that I'm doing just to test things out. And I don't have to do it all in the generator, because if you've seen my episodes before, generators, especially rocks, this can get quite complicated. So I can just test something out and see, is it actually going to be better? And then if it is, rock on. And if it's not, then I know I don't have to go down the route of doing any work, any serious work. And that, to me, that's a cool thing about source generators. It gives you a lot easier ability to do experimentation like this. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing in the next episode. And I will stop with this one. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.